not going to go to waste, is it?
A dummy's left.
Oh, oh God.
It's just a look. It's all for the show.
Right, okay.
Oh, this one's a real one.
Oh, that's a real one, is it?
Yeah.
So, Brian, what sort of boat is this?
It would have been built we believe, in Wivenhoe in the 1920s, and it would have been a small inshore fishing boat, and with using the mizzen sail would have just kept it on course to save it wallowing about. Originally, when the boat was built, it wouldn't have had the cabin on. It would have been just, everything else is original, but the cabin has been built on, and it would have just been open here to catch the fish or whatever they were fishing for at that particular time.
Okay, and what about the spec, the dimensions?
It's 25 feet long. They don't count the rudder, because the rudder can come off on a pintle. It's 25 feet. Counting the rudder, it's 26 foot 2 inches, as mariners tell me when I try and berth it. with a breadth of 7'6". It's twin berthed. We have a little baby Blake in the front, a little toilet, and at the moment we have it's not the original engine. It's a little nanny 3-cylinder, 21 horsepower, because my daughter uses the boat. I'm a marine engineer by trade, and I didn't want to be called out all the time with an old engine saying it won't start, Dad. But we use it exclusively now just for pleasure. So we've got, because we've got a little nanny in there, we've got a little takeoff to a calorifier so we can run hot water as well. A little bit of luxury on a boat this age.
You've got it organised, haven't you?
Yeah. It's yeah, very smart. I've often said to my daughter we need a slightly bigger boat, because it's a smart little boat when no one's live aboard, but once you start living aboard with bags and everything, it gets a little bit cluttered. She tells me I can buy another boat, but I can't sell this. This is hers. Which, to be fair, when we bought the boat in 2005, she did help me with another friend of mine and his son. We bought it together at that time, and then spent 2.5 years in a yard taking it to pieces and putting it back together again. And we actually hit the water on the Monday before the 2008 trad rally, and came up here still screwing on bits and pieces. So we were very pleased, and that year we got the runners-up for the trophy for amateur restoration. So we were very pleased that being presented by Peter Freebody.
Brian, what's so special about this little boat?
Well, I've been in, I joined the Navy at 15 and a half in 1963, and so I've been in boats most of my life, and I've seen lots of friends who have wooden boats, and always a problem, so never buy a wooden boat, I tell everybody. And then I saw this boat 3 years before we actually bought it. It came into a yard I was working in, ran a passenger boat company. 3 young Irishmen had bought the boat from Essex, where it had been in a field for 12 years. The previous owner had moved to Canada and put it in a friend's field. The friend then wanted to sell the field, so the owner in Canada said, look, I'm not coming back to sell the boat. So these 3 young lads bought the boat from Essex. 2 Taplow came in the yard while I was working there. We gave them some advice of what to do with the boat. I then left the yard, and 3 years down the line, I got a call from the boatyard saying they defaulted on their payments, they wanted to sell the boat, and I had showed an interest 3 years ago. So went to look at the boat. It was in a very sorry state, but it's teak. I knew that everything on it was kind of has lots of original fittings on it, which normally get taking off. There's a lot of brass and bronze on it. Because it had been in a private field, that's the sort of thing that if someone finds it, they salvage, they take it away and either melt it down just for the scrap. So we were very lucky that all the fittings were still here. If you look about the boat, like all the brass on it, the bronze tiller, it's the sort of thing, if we lost that, we'd most likely never be able to replace it. So with my good friend who also owned a wooden boat at the time, and my daughter, she was very keen. It was at the time when I had a little bit of disposable income to actually buy the boat, even though it only cost us £1,000. When we bought the boat, then if you don't tell the wife, we spent about another 25,000-30,000 on it to get it up. And obviously over the years, if you've got a wooden boat, you've got to keep spending to keep the upkeep. So we have been very lucky. We haven't had to replace anything major. When we bought it, there was a little bit of the keel which needed replacing, but I had the skills to do that myself. My very good friend Chris Edgley, he's very good at getting things moving. And also my daughter, of course, many a Sundays I'd have laid in bed if she hadn't come and said, "Come on Dad, we've got to go and do the boat." So that was a good motivation. And with all the hard work over the years, this is what we've got now. And from I understand it, talking to a lot of people, it's a very light little boat. It's the proportions of it are just right. It's not overbearing. It's because it's only 25 feet, it's not too bad mooring it in marinas to keep the cost down. And over the years we do little bits and pieces, and we've added things from the trad rallies over the years, bought the stanchions, the nav light, the klaxon horn that it's got, the spotlight. We gradually add over the years, and I think we're just about there now with everything that we could fit to the boat without going over the top.
So you can put your feet up and listen to an old record.
Yeah, we've got a little classic here which everyone loves when we go to the shows. It's a replica, but it does all the right things. It's a wind-up, and of course it plays all the 78s. So once people know I've got it, when they're clearing out the attic, I'm suddenly at home boxes of 78 records, which I gradually sort through because a lot of obviously are scratched and such.
Do you get out on most of the season, or is it all year?
No, where we moor the boat in Taplow near Maidenhead,
right.
We have some very nice reaches there, the Clifton Reach, and as long as it's like all things, it's never the wrong weather, it's just the wrong clothes. So if you wrap up warm, going out in October, you can get some beautiful Indian summers. It's cold, as long as you're wrapped up warm, but that's when all the leaves are changing on the Chiltern Hills there on the Clifton Reach, and the sun's going down. It's just beautiful, and of course not many people on the river, so you have the river to yourself.
So you're sailing all year round?
Yes, yeah, because of the size of the boat. It's handable single-handed. So I do just take it away on my own for weeks at a time, just cruising up and down the Thames.
And what would a boat like this cost you to keep for a year, just a year?
Well, I would say to people, in a marina, if I put it in a marina, which I'm lucky enough to have a different mooring at the moment, it's 3,700. And on top of that, every 4 years there's a boat safety, which is about £200. And then there's the insurance, which is about £300 a year. And then fuel is very minimal, so it's only a small 21 horsepower engine, so it toots along at tick over. So fuel costs are negligible, and there's the occasional pump out, which is £8, and that's it really.
And is the most expensive part the chap that polishes all your brass?
Unfortunately, that's normally myself, although the children are very good. When my eldest daughter, who's had to go home today for work purposes, but is back later on tonight, and her husband, they are very good at polishing brass. So people often say to me, why don't you get it gold plated? But to me that's cheating a little bit. You know, you've got a brass, and we've got a lot of brass and bronze on the boat from Silverton and Lawrence, which are no more. And it's that satisfaction of polishing it up and seeing your face in it that gives a pride in the boat.
Absolutely. You obviously love your little boat, don't you?
Yes, I do love my little boat. Yeah, because it's a nice getaway. As I say, it's easy enough to single-handed go through the locks and everything and moor up. I'm quite happy with my own company and such. I've got a daughter who sings, so I've got her CDs if I need to listen to her singing, and of course I've got the old music box here.